So let's start with domain 1. Security and risk management. Okay. So the first topic that we will look at is the concept of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay. The first thing is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So I'll just try to explain the concept very clearly. Okay. So first is, any information. If you have a piece of information, okay, there's a piece of information here, okay, and you want to protect it. Okay. How do you protect the piece of information? Say you have a house, okay, you want to protect it. What do? You put a lock, right? And you maybe put a fence. Okay. You put a fence around. And then you have some path from where somebody is allowed to enter. You have a specified path. So when somebody comes to your house, what is the first thing you do? You ask, who is it? Right? What are you trying to do? You're trying to establish an identity which is trying to access a particular asset. Okay. And once you confirm that the identity is authorized, then only you allow. Okay. So you identify somebody who's trying to access an asset, then you authorize, and then only you allow. And similarly, the concept of confidentiality means that information needs to be protected. Protected against what? Protected against unauthorized access. Okay, that means anybody who's not authorized to gain that information, they should not get that access. And how do you do that? Either you keep the information in such a manner that even if the unauthorized person gets the access, they're not able to make anything out of it. What do? You put some kind of encryption. You jumble it up with some logic. And second thing you do is you build a strong wall around it. You create a strong access control system. The basis of confidentiality is to protect the importance of the information from any unauthorized use. Anybody who's unauthorized should not get access to the desired information. Only people who are authorized are given access to the information. This is the principle of confidentiality, right? Any doubts? Okay. The next concept is integrity. Integrity means if there is an information and there is an authorized user who wants to access, and this information says, this information is attack at 7 p.m. tonight. So that means this person who's authorized, once they access this information, they get the right information. But if somebody comes, some entity comes and changes this information from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., then the rightful owner of this information will not get the right information. They will get the wrong information. And this is the concept of integrity. The concept of integrity says that information should retain its integrity. That means it should not go through any unauthorized changes. Now, who can make unauthorized changes on this information? Okay. If I am the bad actor, I am the person who wants to change the information. Okay. What is it that is stopping me from changing this information? Again, access control. So if there is a strict access control, then I will not be able to reach the information. If I'm not able to reach the information, I will not be able to change it. Secondly, if the information itself is jumbled up, even if I get access, I will not be able to, even if I try to change it, it will not make any sense. That means if I change it, I should have the capability to detect the change. My access control mechanism should be able to detect any unauthorized change. And that is the concept of integrity. And how you can implement integrity? Again, with the controls which were applicable for confidentiality. Okay. The concept of confidentiality and integrity works together. If any unauthorized entity is able to access the information, they can steal it and they can change it. And that's why generally the access control mechanisms for confidentiality and integrity are generally the same. And finally, is the concept of availability. Availability means information should be available to rightful users whenever they want. Okay. Look at, you want to watch a movie on Netflix. You go switch on the movie and you're not able to watch. Why? Because the network bandwidth is slow or the movie is loading. You get irritated, right? So availability deals with information being available to the rightful user whenever he wants. And that is the concept of availability. These three concepts together form the bedrock of information security. Okay. So you have to protect the confidentiality of the information. You have to protect the integrity of the information. And you have to keep the information available whenever the rightful users have to use it. Okay. So that is the concept of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Right. So let's do a small question on that. Right. Okay. Let me take on one few more concepts and then I will ask you a question. Now, there is something called non-repudiation. Okay, along with CIA, there's a concept of non-repudiation. Right? It is loosely connected to integrity. Okay, how? Now, there was this piece of information, right? And there is a rightful guy, okay, who has access to this information. He goes, his intent is bad. He changes this information. He makes a change. He's a rightful user, makes a unlawful change. This is the violation of integrity principle. Now, when the rightful owner looks at this and he tells, so this is Alice, Alice tells Bob, Bob, you made an unlawful change on the information. Bob says, I have not made it. This violates the concept of non-repudiation. Okay. And it is loosely connected to integrity. If a user is able to deny the changes he has made or deny his actions, then the concept of non-repudiation arises. That means the information is not protected in a manner that it supports non-repudiation. That means Bob is able to go and change the information, and when he's questioned, Bob is able to refuse. Look at this in another way. I sent you an email and I say that please increase the salary of XYZ by 10%. Okay. You increase the salary. Next time when there's a management review happens, you say, I never sent a mail for the increase of salary. You say, no, it happened. Well, show me. So you show that email. You show that, look, it has come from you. Now, I cannot say that it has not come from me unless my account is hacked. So there is two things. Either my account has been hacked and somebody else sent the mail, Or second thing is I'm lying. So whenever you're developing controls where trust is necessary, you have to implement non-repudiation. People should not be able to refuse that they did not carry out this action, right? That is the concept of non-repudiation. Okay, right. Okay, so let's take a short break. Any doubts till now? Please ask.
So can you just brief this thing, non-repudiation once again? I'm like taking some other example.
Some other example. Okay, right. Okay. Uh, you have a house, okay, and you have a neighbor, right? And this is Bob. This is Alice. Okay. Bob has only one key to his house, and Bob's kids are in school. Okay. Bob gives the key to Alice and says, "Whenever my kids come, please hand over the key." Alice says, "Fine." Right. Now a theft takes place from Bob's key. Okay. How? Alice goes, opens the door, steals, and comes back. Now Bob says that there has been a theft at my place, and Alice, you have done it. Alice says, How do you say that? Well, because I gave you the keys. Well, just because you gave me the keys doesn't prove that I have stolen from your house. Okay. Though Alice stole it, so Alice is now saying no. Bob should have controls in such a manner that Alice is not able to say no. What did Bob do? Bob put a small CCTV camera which was not visible. Now, once Alice went and came back and she stole something from Bob's house, it was captured on the CCTV. Now, once Alice says, I have not stolen, Bob says, sorry, there is this video of you stealing from the house. That means the concept of non-repudiation has been enforced. Alice is now not able to deny.
Okay, got it.
Got
Thanks,
it?
sir. Yeah.
Okay. Similarly, in the information domain, say tomorrow okay, a hacker from a particular IP address, okay, from a public IP address, say 254.20.54.17, okay, hacks your email server and makes some changes. You go to the cops, okay, and you say that this particular IP address hacked your email server. Now, when the cops go and get hold of him, he says, sorry, this email does not belong to me. That means the ISP, the internet service provider, has not implemented non-repudiation controls. But if the ISP says this IP address belongs to Alice and Alice's identity is there with me and I've allotted this IP address to Alice, then Alex is in a fix. Unless Alice is able to prove that this IP address was used by someone else to launch an attack on a email server. This happens very frequently in the internet domain where I'm able to spoof somebody else's IP and carry out an attack. So now you apply the concept of non-repudiation wherever somebody is trying to check that can you refuse. Got it?
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe our channel.